Ottawa and the province have reached a historic flood claim settlement with two First Nation communities.
It's a $157 million agreement with Big Grassy and the Ojibways of Onigaming First Nations. Carl Langdon has the details.
The historic flooding problems on the Big Grassy and Ojibways of Onigaming First Nations dates back to the late 1800s, when two dams were built on Lake of the Woods, causing the communities to lose lands to floodwaters.
It was a long journey to reach a fair, just, final settlement.
A $157 million settlement between the communities, Ottawa, and the province of Ontario was marked at the Athabasca Ojibwe Heritage Park on Wednesday. Ontario Indigenous Affairs Minister Greg Rickford took part in the signing ceremony.
Well, it's an important step in reconciliation. Far too often these kinds of claims have taken too long. Our government, under the leadership of Premier Ford, is committed to making sure that we sign off on these claims and we move forward.
No representatives from the federal government were on hand. Chief Lynn Indian of Big Grassy and Chief Jeffrey Copenis of the Ojibways of Onigaming acknowledged the importance of this settlement, but Copenis notes that there are still issues that continue to threaten his community, that senior levels of government have failed to adequately address.
So again, we're begging Minister Rickford while he's here today to help us. We need safe, sober crisis beds. We need infrastructure in Onigaming, not in Kenora, not in Fort Frances. We need it right in our First Nation communities, and we're just not seeing that help coming right now. So we're determined. We're determined to use some investments from this flooding agreement to do the work ourselves, to save the young people ourselves, to treat them themselves.
Still, he acknowledges that this is a first step.
We have an opportunity to work together, from safe crisis beds to safe injection sites to regulated, legalized drugs. We have an opportunity to save lives, and that's what I hope that the minister has heard from my remarks today.
Copenis is also calling for the peaceful occupation of Kenora's Anishinaabe Park next year, honoring the 1972 protest regarding the mistreatment of Indigenous peoples in Canada and which brought awareness of industrial mercury contamination in the region. The health consequences of that contamination are still being felt today. Carl Langdon, TBT News.